Welcome to the Great Girlfriends podcast, where we discuss life, love, laughter, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sybil.
And don't you just love how I brought in our studio audience today? Those are my friends and family, y'all. They're here to clap it up and celebrate this great girlfriend magic that is happening here on the show. So without further ado, grab something great to drink, grab your pen and paper, and get ready for this week's episode. Enjoy.
Great girlfriends, I am so excited as usual to be with you today and to be in partnership with Chameleon Coffee to bring forward some stories about entrepreneurship. It's always good to hear the blueprints, hear the highs and lows, and take all the lessons that we can grab from a fellow entrepreneur or someone who's out in a new space figuring it out. And as we know, most things are figure-outable, as Marie Forleo would say. So I want to introduce you to Melissa Tavvs, who started Tipsy Scoop in 2014. Melissa's background is in marketing and public relations, specializing in the wine and spirits industry. She worked for 5 years at an agency doing marketing for various wine and spirit clients. She received a bachelor's degree at the University of Richmond and later went on to get a graduate degree at NYU and a master's in integrated marketing. Tavvs has been quoted in various publications such as Forbes, CNBC, New York Business Journal, and Food and Wine. She has appeared on several TV shows such as Fox Business, ABC New York, Fox New York, and NBC New York. Melissa has been honored by the James Beard Foundation and the Specialty Food Association for her unique offerings as the founder and CEO of Tipsy Scoop Ice Cream. My personal contribution to her bio is Melissa is quite happy by the beach. Hey, Melissa.
How are you?
So good. How are you?
Good. Happy to be here.
I know. Do you feel like the wind and the breeze are just giving you life at the beach?
It's definitely nice to have some space and be able to walk by the boardwalk whenever you want to. So definitely enjoying it. We opened a new store right in Long Beach, New York. So it's perfect to be close to that one too.
Congratulations. Okay, so give us a little bit. Tell us about Tipsy Scoop, and then we're going to figure out, we're going to get all in your business about how you do this and how do you make it so amazing for other people.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I wish I had sent you some ice cream so I could describe what you were eating while we did this, or make it a little bit more fun for you. But next time.
Yeah.
So Tipsy Scoop is liquor-infused ice cream and sorbet. So I got started developing the Tipsy Scoop idea around 2012 when I had enrolled in grad school for the reason of not knowing what to do next.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of was at a point where I wasn't sure which direction I wanted to go in, and knew I kind of liked marketing and business, so signed up for this master's program at NYU while I kind of decided to slowly figure things out. So really just started as a fun hobby. Ice cream making runs in my family from back in the 1800s. My family brought over gelato from Italy to Scotland back in the day when gelato was a very novel idea.
Wow.
And my great-grandfather was actually president of the Ice Cream Alliance in Great Britain, which I can't believe is a thing, but it is.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So they had a bunch of ice cream carts and gelato shops in Scotland, and was kind of fascinated by continuing the tradition of ice cream making. We skipped a few generations there for a while, but I had always been perfecting my homemade ice cream recipe in a Cuisinart tabletop machine, which I don't know if you've tried to make ice cream at home, but it is not easy
at all. I'm actually like an ice cream. I won't call myself an addict. I will say I choose it over meals.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Ice cream is one of those things for me that I have to be really careful with, because once I get into my ice cream moods, it's hard to get out.
I love ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how people control themselves with just one scoop, but um, more power to you if you can.
Right.
So it was kind of experimenting with homemade ice cream, which I found super challenging and, a household machine. And had also been working in marketing and events for wine and spirits. So that was a great job because I got to take home a lot of samples. So kind of started experimenting with adding a little bit of alcohol to my homemade ice cream recipe. Had been reading about alcohol being able to soften your homemade ice cream so it didn't come out so icy on the sides, which was kind of a challenge I was running into. And started with just a tablespoon and then kind of loved how like that flavor of bourbon like popped in the vanilla bean bourbon ice cream. Another thing I thought was super cool was that the alcohol wasn't burnt off at all because unlike baking with alcohol, like a rum cake or, putting alcohol in cupcakes or anything like that, the end product held the same alcohol content as you put in. So I thought that was super cool. So kind of started to play around with like the ratios of like milk, cream, and sugar and alcohol to get something that would be able to freeze and be that ice cream consistency that we know and love with alcohol added. So that's kind of how Tipsy Scoop was born, and just started messing around with bringing different flavors to friends' houses, and then got an ice cream cart and started doing some fun catering events while I was in grad school. So it was a slow, fun start and didn't really think it would necessarily become a business.
Yeah. I'm hearing you say you bootstrapped. Is that correct? That you kind of started with the product? So, okay. Which, I'm a fellow bootstrapper and the journey is complex when you're bootstrapping because you have to, every choice is the most important choice for the moment and can make or break your budget. And it's all just pressure packed. Um, but how were you able to determine where to go, what to do, how to navigate the choices that come along with like really promoting your product and making the quality what it needed to be?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that I'm really not afraid of is just doing. So I'll basically do whatever and then figure it out after.
I love it.
So I was kind of just messing around with these flavors, doing catering and events. Didn't really think it was going to be anything crazy, and then kind of figured it out as we went along. So, of course, catering and events was one thing. I was, making ice cream at my house with a little machine, and then started picking up wholesale accounts, which was kind of ridiculous with a homemade ice cream machine to sell ice cream to stores.
And how did you do that, Melissa? How did you make the leap? Because that's a big leap to go into wholesale from your home. So how did you how did you find someone that could help you create the wholesale, relationships, and then how did you get there?
Yeah. So, I started really small with the wholesale, just kind of noticed a few stores in my neighborhood, was living in the East Village at the time, that had a bunch of specialty food products that I thought were interesting and knew were like hyper local. So just really approached those stores with samples to be like, would you be interested in carrying these? And that was really all I had the capacity to be able to do at the time, since I wasn't making a ton of ice cream. But then from there, when that kind of, I think I remember I made like 12 pints of ice cream for this store, and it really like knocked me out to make even that much with this little machine. And then the next week they order more, and I'm like, what am I going to do? So So really figured out things on the fly, and enrolled in a program with a kitchen incubator called Hot Bread Kitchen, which is in East Harlem. So they
Yeah.
have a program where, you can apply to kind of rent kitchen space. And also I like to call it kind of like a school for people who aren't, traditionally trained in food or chefs or anything like that. So they really kind of guide you through the process of what it takes to legally and efficiently be able to make a product that can be sold on a larger scale.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so now I'm hearing you say we're opening up another location, okay, so now we're talking about retail space. That's major as well.
Yeah, so that's another funny kind of story. So when we started at Hot Bread Kitchen, that was pretty early on and was still doing the catering and events, and then starting to add in wholesale, got a bigger machine at that point, and really had no interest in brick and mortar. Um, just kind of thought it was scary and not something that we wanted to do. We had started to do shipping on our website, which was going great, and that was kind of our direct to consumer route. But I think it was in 2016, we had a bunch of videos go viral about Tipsy Scoop on Facebook. And I think it was Insider Food came into the kitchen incubator to watch us make the ice cream, and they got this great visual of the alcohol being poured into the machine and these like ripples of ice cream coming out of the machine. And that video got like 10 million views in like a day. And this was in like 2016. So people started showing up in East Harlem at our kitchen incubator, looking for the ice cream shop they had seen on Facebook. When of course we didn't have an ice cream shop then. So we either turned them away or sold them pints, from our freezer warehouse. So that didn't really stop. And when that didn't stop, we knew that we had to open a store that was nicer looking than our kitchen. So that's kind of how that came about.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So I hear a lot of grit. I hear a lot of curiosity. I hear a lot of get it done. I hear a lot of bravery, and you ask big questions to kind of move your mission forward. But I also hear you mentioning a team. So I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about how you were able to curate a team of people that could help move your mission forward.
Yeah, definitely. And that is so important because in the beginning, I really was doing a lot by myself. And that really only lasted a couple of years because I think one of the big mistakes, people make sometimes is thinking you can do everything by yourself. And while you can do that in the beginning, you definitely can't do that to grow substantially. So I'm glad you asked that. So once I added kind of the wholesale component, started to take the business more seriously or even view it as a business, and then started hiring people from there. So the great thing about Tipsy Scoop, I think, is that a lot of people have been there really since the beginning. So I would say we're up to around 15 people full time right now. And I would say, 7 of those people have been here for almost 5 years. So
wow,
crazy. We've kind of been through a bunch of transitions together because, it is a lot to grow from very, very small to where we are now. And, we grow slowly, but still it's completely different from when we started and we were all in hairnets making ice cream all day and doing everything. Not that we don't do that every once in a while now, we still have that very small business mentality and everybody is willing to be scrappy and do what we need to get the work done.
Wow, that's so good. So, but Melissa, so where did you find these people? How did you know they were candidates for your mission?
So that's also funny because I don't think I have ever looked at a resume for anybody who's worked at
Wow.
Tipsy Scoop. It's just was kind of meeting people along the way.
Hmm.
Our director of marketing, I met because she was a beer and ice cream buyer for one of the stores in Bushwick that we sold to. So her and I were always kind of talking when we did demos together. So that's how that kind
Wow.
of came about. I was just like, do
Yeah.
you want to do something else? And people kind of fell in love with the product. Our head of retail, I met when she was working at the popcorn company that shared a kitchen incubator with us, and they were moving to New Jersey. So have really just met great people along the way, and a lot of the people that we hire now are really like fans of the company or the brand, and have that enthusiasm for it, and it's just a great fit.
That's so good. So good. So what's next for you? What's next for Tipsy? What's next for you? What can we expect to see?
Yeah, so obviously this last, what is it, year and a half, 2 years now,
Hmm.
has
Hmm.
been very, very different, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Um, and we had our two brick and mortar locations that had switched to walk-up windows at one point, are now back open, and opened another location in Long Beach. But we've noticed that brick and mortar retail is substantially different than it used to be. We've noticed a lot more people ordering for pickup on our website or local delivery. So we are actually in the process of building out something very exciting, and working with a company that has ghost kitchens in key markets or different cities all over the country to be able to offer local delivery of Tipsy Scoop nationwide. So
Wow.
that's super exciting. Our direct to consumer business on our website really blew up as of last March. The demand was just crazy, which is great. But anybody who ordered from our website was committing to a 4-pint pack and the cost of overnight shipping and dry ice. So this is really just a great opportunity for us to reach a larger audience and for people to be able to get our ice cream in 30 minutes when they just have that like boozy ice cream craving and need it delivered to their door. So
Hmm. Wow, I love that. I love that. Okay, so my last question is what would your grandfather say about what you've done with with the family legacy?
oh my goodness. Well, luckily he was a huge Scotch drinker.
Mhm.
So and we do have a butterscotch Scotch flavor coming out for the holidays. So he'd probably be a huge fan of any of the whiskey flavors and be excited about that. But like I said, it's interesting that, when they came from Italy to Scotland, gelato was such a big deal then. So
Mhm.
I'm sure, they'd be excited about the innovation in ice cream and kind of keeping with the family tradition in that way.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love it. I love the heritage behind the story. I love that you are committed to something, a product that you love, that means something significant to you. And you're able to deliver on that significance in the way that you have curated even the quality behind the ice cream. Like you perfecting your recipe and you really kind of honing and targeting in on something that makes everything so specific for your brand. So I just love that. I think it's so powerful. And it's so interesting because as entrepreneurs oftentimes we think a lot of people will say one part of their journey has nothing to do with the next, and I absolutely find that every leg of our career adds to the next, right? So your time in spirits and your experiences with wine and spirits helps you to understand how your product would align with alcohol and how you could make the quality significant. All these things come together, one career after another. So it's all valuable. And even as we pivot and we start to look at, product innovation, I love that you've paid attention to your consumers and paid attention to their buying patterns, your community, to learn what they really want to see or what would be most valuable to them. And you guys are meeting their need. So kudos to you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I really feel bad that you're not eating the ice cream right now.
I will have the ice cream.
Good.
Yeah. Because let me tell you, in 2020, a regular scoop of ice cream just would not do. So I would have loved to have known about this next level ice cream to help, pandemic proof my emotions at times. No, it sounds just like an incredible product from an incredible founder with like just a fun and rewarding experience behind it. Vanilla bourbon just screams satisfaction and decadence.
Yes, definitely. My other favorite is raspberry limoncello sorbet. Is absolutely delicious. I love the sorbets in the summer, super light and refreshing, and you can throw a scoop in a glass of Prosecco. It's a great poolside cocktail, or pretending you're poolside no matter where you are. So
I love that. Melissa, where can the Great Girlfriends make their orders? Where can they learn more about you and keep up with the exciting products that you have available through Tipsy?
yeah, so we do ship nationwide on tipsyscoop.com. And you all can use promo code STAYTIPSY for 15% off your next order.
Perfect. Oh, this is awesome. Congratulations to you. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great girlfriends, did you enjoy this week's episode of the podcast? If so, would you please give us your amazing review on iTunes? Every single review helps another great girlfriend get plugged into the podcast, into the community. Speaking of community, make sure you join our Facebook group, The Great Girlfriends. You follow us on Instagram at The Great Girlfriends and on Twitter at @the_great_GFS. Last but not least, we'd like to thank my amazing husband, Kwaku, Sam and Dilly, and all of you for being a part of the global community that makes us so strong. Please remember to share with your friends, keep listening, and keep being a great girlfriend. I'm Sybil, and I'm out. Peace.